Are you struggling with your marketing plan and you'd just like a simple solution to sell your services online? If so, you're in the right place because today we are going to talk about your one-page marketing plan. And stay tuned until the end and I will share with you my 2 tips to increase customer lifetime value. If we haven't met before, hello, I'm Alina Bonn. I'm a content marketer and creator of Effortless Engine. We help authors, speakers, and consultants build online authority with content marketing. Now let's get into the one-page marketing plan. Again, there's 3 parts. Within the before phase, you need to 1, identify your target market. Who do you want to work with? Get really clear. Are they men, women? How old are they? Where do they live? What are their interests? What's their education level? What's their income? What are their interests? You need to be very crystal clear on your target market. Second, clarify your message to this target market. What do you need to communicate about your services that helps them resolve the problem that they're facing? Get really intimate with it. You need to know exactly how they're feeling. You need to know the solutions that they've tried because you need to differentiate why your services are actually finally the right solution to help them. Lastly, you need to identify the media you are going to use to communicate with them. Is it going to be through video? Podcasting? Is it going to be through social media? Are you going to be mailing them? How are you going to talk to them? And again, this is going to range depending on what your ideal client uses as their preferred communications. And we can even break this down to social media. I know a lot of my clients, they want to use all the social media available. And I recommend you really only need 2 platforms and get really good at those 2 platforms and pick the ones where your customers are hanging out at. Now, let's move on to the during phase. Again, there's 3 sections. So first, how are you going to capture your leads? There's 2 ways to do it, organically and inorganically. Basically, paid and unpaid. Are you going to purchase ads and pay for each lead? For example, are you going to use Facebook ads or Google ads? Or I'm a fan of organic marketing because it works for me. I know if I put in the time, I get the leads that I want, but that does take more time. So if you are going to do cold prospecting and research your target client, create those conversations, and I've done that on multiple platforms, on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. I've done it everywhere and it works. So you can definitely do organic marketing if you have more time and you want to do that, and you're very clear on who you want to work with. That can work. Or once you get even more clear and then you're ready to purchase ads because you know that your messaging is crystal clear, and if that does land in the lap of your ideal client that they are going to take action, then you're ready to purchase ads. Now, let's move on to the next part, which is nurturing your leads. So say you've got your lead and they've gone through your marketing funnel, whichever funnel that you have set up to capture the lead. Now it's time to nurture them. They're in your orbit, and what kind of information do you have to give value to them to nurture them? For example, for me and my clients with Effortless Engine, I am a big fan of recording a 15-minute video and then chopping it up for content marketing across multiple platforms. And so if someone comes into contact with myself and my company and they're not ready to purchase yet, they don't really know if they like me, they don't know if they want to work with me, they don't know if they like my services. Well, they can watch all of my YouTube videos, listen to my podcast, and get to know more how I am, what I know, the services my company can do, get to know some results that I've gotten my clients. So I have that information available. What kind of information do you have available to nurture your leads? Are you sending a consistent newsletter? Are you writing social media posts? Are you creating videos? What is your lead nurturing process? Next, it's time for your sales conversion. Obviously, we're not going to be doing all this marketing and never asking for the sale, because that is 100% the way that you're not going to get the sale if you never ask for it. So be sure that you do have moments in your marketing where you're actually converting prospects into customers. So make sure that it's very easy for your customer to purchase your service. Is it clear what they can purchase? Do they know exactly what comes with the service? What are the outcomes? What can they expect? What is the process? That needs to be very clearly laid out on your sales page, and you need to make payment easy. Can they purchase with card? Can they purchase with PayPal? Is it very easy for them to give you their money? because you'd be surprised at how hard it is some people make it to make that transaction happen. So what is your sales conversion strategy? Now we are ready for the last section, which is after, once they become your customer. Once again, there's 3 parts. So first off, how are you going to deliver a world-class experience? If you are selling a service that is viewed more as a commodity, a lot of people are offering it and your customers are really purchasing based off of a price comparison. You need to differentiate your value then, if that is the case, because otherwise there's always going to be someone coming in who is selling your service for cheaper. So you need to carve out your value proposition and clearly identify how working with you is going to be different and better and worth it. Next, how can you increase lifetime value? When you are considering working with a prospect, you have to know how much it costs you to acquire them, how much they are likely to spend with you, whether it's on one transaction per month. And you need to figure out those kinds of numbers because you need to identify the likely customer lifetime value for the year, because that way you can identify if the setup to get started with them is going to be worth it for the amount of time that you're likely going to work together. So for example, if you're selling a service that takes a lot of time, a lot of setup to get going, and then they're only with you for a short amount of time, is it actually worth your energy and effort to set up that short sale when you could be focusing on your current clients who already do really trust you and figuring out how you could increase their lifetime value? Or is your time better preserved to be saved for working with prospects who can engage with you for the long term? So you need to know those numbers. And I know that that is a whole nother topic in itself, but be cognizant of that. How can you increase customer lifetime value? Once they've gone through this whole lead magnet and nurturing system and they're in your orbit, how can you make them stay in your orbit and stay happy? It's very hard, but you need to figure it out. You need to know that. And soon we'll get to my 2 tips on how you can do that. But lastly, to finish up the after section, once somebody is your customer, now how can you get referrals from them? See, if you create one happy customer, then they at least have 3 to 10 people that they can refer you to right away for this service. So do you have a referral program set up with them and your services so that they are encouraged to sell your services? Once you make a happy customer, then they are going to be your best salespeople. So set up a nice referral system so that you can just be on the lookout for, new customers that you can serve, and your customers are going to be happy to give you new business, and usually they're going to want to help you and vice versa. So make sure you have a nice referral program set up for your current happy customers. And there you have it, everyone, your 1-page marketing plan. It's really that simple. Of course, we can get into more complicated tactics and strategies, but at the end of the day, that's all there is to it. And that's the only thing that you need to focus on. So if you ever feel overwhelmed and you feel like you're deviating from really the main goal of your marketing, just refer back to this 1-page plan. It's really that simple. Now, as promised, my 2 tips for increasing customer lifetime value. Number 1, find out why your customers really do business with you. Why are they using your service? What is the real result that they are after? Once you can identify that, I want to say game over, but it's not, but it's kind of close, because once you can identify that, then you know exactly what they're after. And then, which leads me to point 2, find out how to create those services to solve the real reason why they work with you, the real problem that they're experiencing. Because then you're going to be able to create and test new services, put it out into the market once you're listening to the feedback and the data and figuring out why they are really working with you. And then you'll be able to iterate those services once they're out there. So those are my 2 tips for increasing customer lifetime value. And there you have it, everyone, your 1-page marketing plan. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you found found a lot of value in it. As always, if you would like to discuss your content marketing strategy with me, please visit effortlessengine.com to apply for a consultation, or you can tune in every Tuesday as I release a new episode on the Established Show. We'll help you power your message into new territory. What are you waiting for? The world is waiting to join your journey.